Give it back. Oh.
Oh, hello, valued guest. Just struggling with one of the inn's guard dogs. Seems to have found something near the oven. I think Philip from room 237 might be missing this, and is probably marinating in his own anger. But that's okay. I'll just go back up there and butter him up. I'm glad I caught it before they completely ate it. These dogs are extremely vicious. The inn takes pride in their guard dogs. When they behave, we throw them a leg bone, and an arm bone, and a finger bone, and a foot bone. I call this tale the Pallid Mask.
We are continuing our Carcosa campaign with Carolyn Fern. She starts with 2 mental trauma due to last scenario's unfortunate events. As you can see, we have used our experience that we gained in the last scenario to upgrade to Pathfinder, and we have removed Quantum Flux. As the campaign has progressed, we have a lot more weaknesses in our deck, and reshuffling cards into our deck means that a lot of these weaknesses will eventually get reshuffled into our deck, and we don't want that. For permanents, we have Charisma, and we have now purchased Kenai using some of our experience from last scenario. This will allow us to use all of our excess resources to boost some very important stats to help us pass some skill tests. So as I mentioned earlier, we've removed Quantum Flux from the deck. It was helpful in the beginning of the campaign, but it's becoming less helpful as the campaign has progressed. And we have purchased Pathfinder, which will help our action economy by allowing us to move for free during our turn one time, as long as there's no enemies in our same location. So pretty cool card, and I think it'll be very useful, especially in this scenario. In terms of the scenario reference, the skulls are worth -X, so the further you are from the starting location, the more negative the modifier becomes for pulling a skull. There are no cultist tokens and no tablet tokens in our chaos bag, so the only other token we have to worry about is the Elder Thing token, which will give us a -3, and if we fail, we get a ghoul engaged with us. So this is very bad. There are 2 Elder Thing tokens in this chaos bag right now, so our chances of pulling ghouls in this scenario are fairly high. This scenario is difficult as it is, and having extra encounters will only slow us down even further. So we have to be fast and we have to be smart. Carolyn is stirred awake by dirty, stale air and dust in her throat. She's lying on a slab of cold stone inside a lightless underground passageway. How did she get here? And where's here exactly? A shiver courses up her body, and her hair stands on end. Rising to her feet, she takes stock of her surroundings. Bones decorate the walls and ceiling around her, open-mouthed skulls peering back at her and everywhere she looks. Just past the archway closest to her, Carolyn sees a familiar symbol etched into the skull of a sheep. Rows of concentric semicircles lined with exotic runes. 2 wavy lines descend from the design, leading into the skull's lower jawbone. She recognizes it as the pattern Heroku had shown her. Wondering why it would appear here, Carolyn examines the skull in greater detail. As soon as she touches the underside of the skull's jawbone, its mouth suddenly opens. Bones collapse to the ground as the wall slides to reveal a new path. The dark, chill air of the catacombs penetrates Carolyn's clothes and causes her to shiver. Everywhere she looks, the remains of the dead greet her, a grim reminder of her own mortality. At the end of the long tunnel next to Carolyn, the stranger steps through the darkness, his pale mask glinting in the candlelight. "Wait!" Carolyn calls out. He glances her way before vanishing into the shadows. Once more, Carolyn is forced to track him down to find answers. Alright, so the Pallid Mask. This scenario is another tough one. Actually, the last few scenarios of this campaign are they just get progressively more difficult. So we'll see if we make it through this one. We are currently shuffling our location deck. Basically, this scenario, the way it works, the locations are placed into play as you reveal them. So it is a random map that is generated as you play along, and each time that you play, it's going to be a different map. So it's very hard to game this one or to plan ahead, because you just don't know where each pathway is going to lead you. Because of the way the campaign has kind of evolved, we do get a benefit. Since we interviewed Heroku earlier in scenario 2, the last king, we actually get to reveal one of the locations attached to our starting location, so that'll help out quite a bit. And by revealing it, I believe we don't have to spend a clue to move to it. We found a secret passageway and can move right in if we need to. Please post in the comments if I am wrong on that, but I think we do not have to spend a clue to move there. So we put a marker to indicate the starting location, because it is referenced throughout the scenario sometimes, and it's much easier to find because the map starts to get pretty big and pretty cluttered. All right, so now we will get our opening hand here. Okay. All right, so we got some decent cards. I don't think we need the pills, the pain pills, so it looks like we get a Moment of Respite, we get a Dyno-mite Blast, Anatomical Diagrams, True Grit, and Dr. Marlon Christopher. I'm happy we got Dr. Christopher early on. I was hoping for a weapon, because it can get really, really tough very quickly if we don't have a weapon. But here we go. Well of Souls, Force Shroud, 1 clue, forced. After you end your turn at Well of Souls, you must either take 1 direct horror or discard 2 random cards from your hand. And then the catacombs next to it, we have to place some cards. And then luckily, we have found that secret passageway, because if we ended up finishing our turn there, we're already going to start taking horror. And we start with 2 horror because of the trauma we suffered last scenario. And we attach the 1 location. There's only 1 attached to it, so we will go ahead and reveal that one. There we go, and we'll put a clue on it. Or 2 clues, actually. And that one has some other locations attached to it, so we'll go ahead and place those unrevealed. There we go, 1 to the right and 1 to the bottom. I believe now we are ready to start. 5 resources and 2 horror. We'll start. Our first move will be to bring in our friend, Dr. Marlon Christopher, to help us out in this investigation under the streets of Paris. And I think he will be very useful. He gives us +1 to intellect, and after we successfully investigate, we gain a resource. So this will help us finance everything that we need throughout this investigation. Alright, and we'll start investigating right away the Well of Lost Souls right here. It's going to be 5 versus 4. Not the best of odds, but it is what it is. And we pull a -1. Nice. Exactly what we needed. So we get a clue, and we also gain a resource thanks to Dr. Marlon Christopher. The trick in this one, I believe, is get a lot of clues early. That way you can move about more freely without getting stuck. We're going to move out of this opening location right away so we don't take that horror into the bone-filled cavern. 3 shroud, 2 clues. While you're investigating bone-filled cavern, you have 1 fewer hand slot. Not a huge deal. It is a victory location, so it'll give us an experience point if we get that. The first location was as well. So we've already earned 1 experience point no matter what happens here. The hand slot situation, not a big deal. We don't have anything in our hands right now. Ooh, Cheat Death, my new favorite card. I think in this scenario, it'll really come in handy. Okay, so we'll add the Doom to the agenda and draw our first encounter card, and it is the Shadow Behind You. Put the Shadow Behind You into play in your threat area. And you have to use an action to look behind you every turn. At the end of your turn, if he didn't look behind you, you have to discard all your resources or all the cards from your hand, and then you get to discard this card. So this will take an action from us every single turn. I think the best thing to do is to just let it, hit us for either resources or cards and go away, because that'll be way too punishing to have to use up an action every single turn. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see any other way about it. We have resources. Now, the only time I would say that maybe it's a good idea to use it is if you have very important cards in your hand that you can't get rid of, and you have no resources, so you would have to get rid of your hand, then maybe look behind you so you can keep your hand for a round. All right, we're going to go ahead and play True Grit. True Grit gives us a 3 health little buffer there, and its special ability we don't need because we're not playing in multiplayer, so it's just kind of a way to get some extra health here. We're going to investigate this. 5 versus a 3. +1. All right, so far luck is with us. Knock on wood. We gain a resource from Dr. Christopher, and we'll investigate again. And we get a skull. We are 1 location away from the main location. That means that we get a -1. So, success. We get another resource from Christopher, and that ends our turn. Shadow behind us takes our resources away. Just go ahead and get rid of those, and the card goes away. Not a big deal. Okay, now we'll gain a resource and draw a card. And it is, oh, perfect. Inquiring Mind. Very handy right now. Yes. I'm hoping for Foolishness. I got those Moment of Respite last scenario, and Foolishness never came out, I think. Or maybe he came out way late in the game. Ooh, Corpse Dwellers. Discard humanoid enemy. Otherwise, this gets Surge. So we don't have any humanoids in play, so it gets Surge. It goes to the discard pile. Eyes in the Wall. Test 3 willpower. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. When assigning horror from this effect, it must be divided evenly as possible amongst eligible cards. So what that means is if you fail and you get like 2 horror and you have an ally in play, 1 horror has to go to the ally and 1 has to go to you. Like, you can't just put it all on one thing. It has to be divided evenly amongst your assets. So we have 3 versus 3. Let's do this. And we pull, all right, an Elder Sign. So not only do we avoid the horror, we heal a horror because of Carolyn's special ability. And we gain a resource because of Carolyn's special ability. Beautiful. This couldn't have played out better. So far, the Chaos Bag has been very nice to us. Smooth sailing for now. Okay, so we'll move in here. And it is Candlelit Tunnels. Test 3 intellect to read an ancient sign. If you succeed, look at the revealed side of a catacombs location in play. Limit once per game. Oh, that's useful. 3 shroud, 2 clues. I don't think we need to get both clues from here. We have to spend a clue to move in there, by the way, so that's why we have 2 now. But the ability can be useful. Right now, I'm not sure that I need it yet. So we'll just go ahead and place the locations to the left and to the right. Since there's already one to the left, we only get to put a location to the right of it. We'll investigate 5 versus 3 and see what we get. A 0. Man, this Chaos Bag has really been nice. I'm getting scared because as the scenario progresses and tough things start coming out, I think the bag is going to start to punish me. All right, we'll move in here, spend a clue to move in there, and reveal this location. And it is Crypt of the Sepulchral Lamp. Crypt of the Sepulchral Lamp is investigated using willpower instead of the skill indicated by the investigation attempt. Okay. 2 clues go on here, and it's not a victory location, so I don't think I need to get the 2 clues. And then the locations that go are above and to the right of it. So we'll pull from the location deck above and to the right. Perfect. Okay. And so far, so good. Turn ends. we gain a resource, and we draw a card. Carolyn is having some fun times in the caverns, and she gets her favorite pain pills. All right. So I think we've got a nice buffer here for damage. So we'll add a doom to the agenda and pull our encounter card, and it is the pit below attached to your location. If there's no copy of the pit below attached, if there is, discard the pit below and it gains surge. Attached location gets +1 shroud, and at the end of the round, you take 3 damage. Oh my god. So if you are in the location at the end of the round, you take 3 damage and then it goes away. That's really punishing. So I do not want to end my turn in this location. That is for sure. So we'll investigate a 5 versus 3. And we get a skull. So we are 3 locations away. So yeah, we're going to investigate again because that was not successful. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god, the worst place to pull the Elder Thing token. Oh my goodness. So now we gotta look for a ghoul and spawn it in our location. It is a ghoul minion. They're not too tough, but we don't have a weapon yet. So, and our fight value is 2, and we haven't gotten anything that'll boost it. I mean, we do have keen eyes, so that'll help us, but it's gonna take valuable resources. And it'll take 2 actions to kill this thing, assuming we hit with both actions. So this really puts a damper. And we do not want to end in this location because, well, we'll take 3 damage. And we just definitely cannot afford to do that. This puts us in a very bad spot. Not what I wanted to happen right now. So, having the Elder Thing token in this scenario kind of adds a really, really big twist to it. You don't want to pull that many skill checks in this one, because when you pull, it's kind of like playing on hard or expert. The less pulls you do, the better. So you don't want to overshoot your clue gathering either, because the more times you pull from the Chaos Bag, the higher chance you get of pulling that Elder Thing, which means you're going to get more enemies. It's kind of like a vicious circle. Okay, so let's figure it out. I think the best thing to do here is just take an opportunity attack. Do we spend a resource and play anatomical diagrams? Let's put the resource back. Playing anatomical diagrams is a bad move. We only have 1 action left this turn. So it would be a waste because we're not going to kill him in 1 hit. So let's just go ahead and move. We'll spend a clue so we can move into this location. And by moving, we take an opportunity attack. So he's going to deal a horror and a damage to us. And we move into this place. The Gate to Hell. 1 shroud, 2 clues. Forced. When it's revealed, there's just above and below. Locations above and below this one. Okay. So there's no special abilities in this location or anything. It just is. And it has 2 clues. We move in. We took our opportunity attack. We'll place the locations above and below. And I think we've broken through to having 5 cards left in the location deck, and we're aiming to get to a location that's in that bottom 5 of the location deck. So we'll have to pretty much start revealing every location moving forward. Alright, so he attacks us during the enemy phase, so we take another damage in horror. Okay, and then we will ready, and we will get a resource and draw a card. And we get a gun. Okay, cool. So having a weapon will help for sure. I don't know if I want to take another opportunity attack, though. I think I'm just going to cut my losses for this one. Oh, the pit below goes away at the end of the turn. That's right. We avoided that, at least. Because imagine, we would have had a lot more Would have been at 4 damage. Would be almost dead. Okay, eyes in the walls. Again, okay, so test 3 willpower. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. And it has to be split amongst our assets evenly. Great. We have the pain pills, but I think we'll use Inquiring Mind. So this is a skill card that gives us 3 wild icons. As long as there's a clue in the location, which there is, then we can commit the card. So we are going to have a 6 versus a 3. Let's do this. This should be simple. And we pull... Oh my god! Luckily that's only a -3. Otherwise we would have another ghoul on us. So we succeed, and now we're going to fight this ghoul. So first things first, we're going to spend a resource and bring in anatomical diagrams. Basically what this does, it's a fast action. We do have 5 or more remaining sanity, and this ghoul is now going to have -2 fight and -2 evade. So basically now it has become a 0-2-0 creature. So we're going to hit it. Basically 2 versus 0. We can't fail unless we pull an auto fail tentacle token. So +1, that works. And second attack, +1. Okay, so we kill him. Bye-bye. Nice. And now we're going to go ahead and investigate this location. And it's going to be a 5 versus 1. Actually, no. Let's spend a resource and play Carolyn's painkillers. Her favorite pills of all time. So you can actually use a free action. Spend 1 supply. It has 3. And you'll heal damage and take a horror instead. I think this can come in handy. So we'll use 1, heal damage, and take a horror. There you go. Okay, and that is our turn. So we will now gain a resource. And, yeah, draw a card. Alright, we got the machete. Excellent, excellent. Carolyn can start chopping things up now. Just the card I was looking for. Now all we need is foolishness. Okay, Doom on the agenda. Agenda's going to flip next turn. And we get Crypt Chill. Test 4 willpower. If you fail, choose and discard 1 asset you control. If you can't, take 2 damage instead. Okay. 4 willpower is a tough check because we only have a 3. So it's going to be... And I don't have much to commit to it. It's going to be straight. 3 versus 4. And we get -2. So we failed. So we'll go ahead and get rid of the pills. Carolyn is frozen in fear and drops her little pill bottle on the ground in the cavern. She can't find it anymore. Mylan Christopher is just shaking his head. We'll pay 3 resources and pull the machete out. And Carolyn says, "Watch this, Dr. Christopher." And now we'll test 5 versus 1 to investigate the location. Here we go. This should be an easy check. -1. Perfect. Okay. And I will do it again. 5 versus 1. And so... Skull. Okay, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4 locations away. That's still good enough. Close, though. We move 1 more location, that'll be a -5 for that skull. So we gain 2 resources from 2 successful investigations with Dr. Christopher. And that ends our turn. So now we will gain a resource and draw a card. And that agenda is going to flip. So I know what's coming. Things are about to make a turn for the worst. Now the clock is going to be ticking for sure. For sure. And what it is, it's the Spectre of Death. It's an elite 3 combat, 5 health, 3 evade. This thing is nasty. It's a hunter. It retaliates. And while it's exhausted, it takes 1 less damage from each attack made against it. And if you fail skill test while evading, it attacks you. So that ability has a name now. It's called Alert, but at the time they didn't have a name for it. So, and it does 2 damage and 2 horror, although it is worth 2 experience points. So if we can somehow manage to kill it, it will be a very, very nice reward for it. But here we go. The agenda now moves. Empire of the Undead. All around Carolyn, the eyes of skulls glow with an otherworldly hue. A ghostly voice echoes throughout the labyrinthine catacombs. Carolyn senses a threatening presence looming around her. It is just outside of her vision, past the dim fog that permeates throughout the catacombs around every corner. Okay, and the doom threshold is 12. This is the last agenda, so now we basically have 12 rounds to complete this. And I believe there's 4 acts, so this is, we are a little bit behind here. Encounter card is Obscuring Fog attached to your location, and it gets +2 Shroud. If it's investigated, then this goes away. Okay, not too bad. I'm kind of glad it wasn't a creature, because this thing is hunting us now. I'm getting flashbacks from from the other scenario. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to go ahead and spend 3 resources so that we can heal some horror. There are no enemies at our location, so we heal 3 horror and draw a card. Here we go, and because we healed the horror, we gain a resource back from Carolyn's ability. And we're down to 1 horror now. Very nice. Very, very cool. Let me draw a card. And it's Fieldwork. Okay, that's a really good card. I was saving that moment of respite for Foolishness, but now that the Spectre is out, I think I just need to heal horror and move on. And if Foolishness comes, then let's go up here. Spend a clue. And reveal the location. Shivering Pools. After you end your turn at Shivering Pools, you take 1 direct damage or lose 5 resources. Victory location. 5 shroud, 1 clue. Okay. Well, we're taking a damage because that's our last action of the turn. It's got 1 clue. Could get another experience point next turn out of this one. So yeah, we can't really do anything about it. We moved in on our last turn, so there's nothing that'll prevent that, so we take the damage. And then our turn. And this Spectre is going to move 1 location closer to us as it hunts us. Get a resource, and then ready Carolyn, and then we will draw a card. More pain pills. Okay. Well, these can come in handy. I mean, we've taken a little bit of damage. We took 1 pill earlier, and that helped. So far, so good. And then we also have that True Grit that's going to help us absorb a little bit of damage as well. But if this Spectre comes and starts attacking us, it can take us down very, very quickly. So that's something that I have to keep in mind. And we get another Corpse Dweller, but there's no humanoids. Something that people miss with those Corpse Dwellers, Obscuring Fog. And this location already had a high shroud of 5, so that becomes a 6. That's kind of difficult. Oh boy, okay. The Corpse Dwellers, let's say you're fighting a ghoul, and you've damaged the ghoul, and you pull a Corpse Dweller, and the ghoul is the only other creature on the board. Ghouls are humanoids, so the Corpse Dweller will remove the ghoul from play and replace it. So if you were about to kill a ghoul, that can kind of force you to have to start fighting this thing all over again. So, alright, we're going to play Fieldwork. This will help us get some bonuses as we move into locations with clues on them. We can get a +2 to our next skill check at that location. So I have a plan. We'll go ahead and move into the location to the right. And then we're going to use Fieldwork. Oh, the Tomb of Shadows already. Okay, cool. Tomb of Shadows, advanced to Act 1B. Man in the Pallid Mask is at the Tomb of Shadows. I get +1 health per investigator and cannot be defeated by his action ability. And this is another victory location. Lots of experience in this one. Lots of experience points. We'll add 2 clues on here, and we will we'll exhaust the stranger's shadow. Rows of skulls chatter their teeth endlessly as Carolyn passes through a narrow stone archway into a round chamber illuminated by firelight. In the center of the tomb stands the stranger, peering into the blaze. Across the wall, shadows dance and twist with the flickering of the flame. The stranger turns to face Carolyn, and his own shadow spreads across the wall. Where his shadow's arms should be, tentacle shapes emerge, enveloping the walls in darkness. He lifts his hands toward the wall as if trying to show you something. Spawn the set-aside man in the Pallid Mask in the Tomb of Shadows. And Ishimaru Haruko has been defeated, so she does not spawn at the starting location. Thank goodness. Cool. Okay, so there's the man in the Pallid Mask. He spawns right there in the Tomb of Shadows. And he has +1 health. The path is barred. The shadows cast along the bone wall shift into the shapes of several figures, acting out a macabre parody of the King in Yellow. Tell us how to stop the path from opening. So if the man in the Pallid Mask is defeated, we advance. Or we can use clues to advance. We'll see. I'd rather defeat him, but we'll see. So I did use field work, so we're going to go 7 versus 4. And we pull a -2. Nice, so we get a clue, which nets us. Sorry guys, one of the little ones knocked over the camera. Didn't knock it off all the way, but had to adjust it. And I had to cut the recording, so sorry about that little brief jarring moment. There's a lot of reflection now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and turn this light off, and then I'll open the blinds. That way it lets in more natural light, less reflection. I think that's going to work out better. Sorry for doing this in the middle of the scenario, but you know, getting the camera knocked over at least has prompted me to fix this issue. I know that it was very reflective, probably annoying to look at. I apologize. All right, so we'll move the Spectre one more location over. The man in the Pallid Mask doesn't attack us because he's not engaged. Oh, cool, anatomical diagrams. He is aloof, so even though like there's special rules for him in this one, he is aloof, so we have to actively engage him. We have to use an action to engage him. So we're taking full advantage of that right now, investigating the location to get our experience point before we engage and attack him. So we'll draw our encounter card, and it is a Catacombs Docent. Spawn us at the nearest unrevealed location. We can use an action to parlay a test for intellect to interpret the guide's ravings. If you succeed, you can look at the revealed side of an unrevealed location. He spawns in an unrevealed location, which we found where we were looking for. I think there may be one other location when we advance the act that we may have to find, but for now it's fine. He can just sit there. But what his appearance means is if we get another corpse dweller, this guy will transform into a corpse dweller, and they are hunters, so they will start hunting us. And they have 5 health, which is, you know, the Spectre's bad enough. I don't need another 5 health creature coming after Carolyn. Alright, let's investigate, and yep, investigate right here. And we're gonna go right here. It's gonna be 5 versus 4. As the Spectre gets closer to us, I need to start formulating a strategy to deal with him. Evading him is tough. Nice, -1. Okay, so we get the clue. Evading the Spectre, if we fail an evasion check, he attacks us. If we try to attack it and miss, he attacks us because he's got retaliate. I do have a Dyno-mite blast, and I only have 4 resources now. By the time he gets here, I'll probably have enough, and that'll at least get him down to 2 health, which means one machete chop will cut him down, but that's easier said than done. So I need something to help me boost my attack value, other than Kinai, because it looks like my resources will be spent with the Dyno-mite blast. So I don't know how we're going to do this, but we need to figure it out in the next couple of turns. Okay, we started off really well. The bag was really friendly to us, and now we're still in a pretty good position, but this can turn on us bad. Let's engage the man in the Pallid Mask and hit. Maybe not. No, let's get back. Okay, so we're not going to engage him yet. Let's try to get this clue. We'll move into this location. We'll use fieldwork to give us a +2. So that's going to be a 7 versus a 7. Even check. This will help us get a resource as well. -3. That's not good enough. That sucks. Okay. Well, we'll spend a resource to play painkillers. I think we're probably going to need this in a little bit if this specter gets to us. So we'll go ahead and put that in there with the 3 pills that look like steaks. And I think we all know what type of steaks these would be. The most delicious of all. Alright, so she'll take 1 as a free action. Heal damage. She'll take a horror. And that goes on there. Popping those pills is making her go a little nutty. Dr. Mon Christopher shakes his head again. But Carolyn thinks maybe he wants a pill as well. They're pretty tasty. Okay, liquid courage, her favorite juice to go with those pills. Very, very nice. Okay. We may be able to do some things with those. Oh my god. Okay, so we pull a poltergeist. The poltergeist cannot be damaged except by spell, relic, or encounter cards. It only has 2 health, but the machete won't be able to kill it in one hack. We have to parlay with it. At least it gives us that ability, so we can use our intellect check 5 versus 3 to then deal damage to it to convince it to go away. And we do... Oh no! Oh god! That's a ghoul minion. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, so we have 2 bad guys on us. The Spectre is 2 locations away. Things are now looking a little bit more rough than they were last round. Okay, let's try to think of a strategy here. If we hack at the ghoul minion with our machete, we're only going to do 1 damage because we have 2 creatures engaged with us. So that's one thing about the machete that's a little bit difficult if you have more than 1 foe on you. It doesn't happen often, but when it does is when you most need that extra point of damage. Alright, so we're going to use anatomical diagrams on the ghoul minion, so at least we can ensure that we hit it twice and kill it this round. So we're going to go ahead and attack it. And it's going to be with the machete, so it's going to be a 3 versus a 0. Again, we can only fail with a auto fail, so -4 is still good enough. It takes a damage. And we're going to do it again. So here we go again. And we get a skull, which is a -5, but that's still good enough because you cannot go below 0. So there goes that ghoul minion, so at least we got 1 guy off of us. And the Spectre is now 1 location away from us. The Poltergeist hits us on the enemy phase for 2 horror. Oh no. Okay. Draw a card, and it is Pathfinder. That, I mean, right now we've got some enemies kind of all around us, so I don't know how helpful that'll be right now, but I guess it's good. We did pay for it, so it's nice when you first purchase a card using experience. When you do pull it in the very next scenario, it sucks when you purchase one and you don't get it. Grasping Hands. Test 3 agility. For each point you fail by, take a damage. As if things weren't bad enough already. Straight check. 3 versus 3. Come on. Oh my god. Auto fail. Jesus. Well, there goes True Grit. At least it was useful. 5 versus 3 to hit this thing now. And we pull a skull. That's a failure. Let's do it again. Come on. God. Do we have anything we can commit to this one? Oh man, what a position to be in. This specter is coming, and we are stuck with this stupid poltergeist. I mean, a 5 versus... It shouldn't be a difficult check. I mean, I'm just having bad luck now. We spent all our good luck in the beginning of the scenario. I guess we'll try it. One more time. 0. Okay, so it takes 1 damage. Has 1 damage left. And I don't know if I want to be here, because that specter's going to move in and hit us. And that's pretty brutal. And then once it comes in, it's engaged, and then we have bigger problems, because we're not going to be able to get away from it. Okay. What to do? We have been put in quite a dilemma here. I'm thinking instead of coming back to try and get this clue, we should have just killed the man in the Pallid Mask. Ah, man. But, you know, looking back, whenever you play, like, you look back at things you could have done, but you didn't know what was going to happen, so you just never know. Okay. I think... I think we're gonna have to move over, taking an attack of opportunity from the poltergeist. So he moves with us, and he'll hit us for 2 horror, which puts us pretty close to death. And then, but at least it buys us around. We should be able to get him next round, I think. So we're at 8 horror. 1 away from death. Draw a card. Okay, well that's actually handy, because not only will that kill the poltergeist, but it could hit everybody in the room for 2. So, maybe. Okay. Alright, let's do our Mythos phase stuff, and then we'll figure this out. So we'll add a Doom to the agenda and draw a card. Crypt Chill, test 4, willpower. If you fail, choose and discard 1 asset you control. Take 2 damage if you can't. We have assets, so we definitely can discard. Alright, so it's 3 versus 4. Right now, that's the least of my worries. But I guess we could commit. Alright, let's commit these two. I think fieldwork might come in handy when fighting that Spectre. So 5 versus 4. -1. Okay, we made it. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. It's going to be 5 versus 3. Come on. Oh my god, no. No, 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 no. Oh god. Oh god. And we have a helper. Okay, Ghoul Minion is now in our location. Pops out of the shadows in the caverns of these catacombs. Oh god, I forgot to do this. Spectre was supposed to move last round. I'm sorry for the mistake. I'll correct it. He wasn't going to hit me last rounds, but we'll move him now. And then at the end of this turn, he gets to move into our location. So, sorry that I forgot that. Alright, we are now surrounded. Things are looking grim for Carolyn as she's in this catacomb, surrounded by a ghoul and a poltergeist, and now specters coming through, all ready for blood. Well, I think we all know what I'm going to do here, because otherwise I'm dead. So luckily we pulled cheat death very early on, so let's just try and kill this guy anyways. Okay, this guy, so it's going to be 5 versus 3. And nice! Elder Sign. Alright. He goes away. Whew! Okay, and we heal a horror. Man, we've been pulling some Elder Signs today. I think this is like the 3rd or the 4th one. We get a resource because of Carolyn's ability. And then that gets rid of the poltergeist. That really helps, because my plan is to go back in there, guns blazing. And that poltergeist was going to be the only part of the plan that I wasn't going to be able to handle. So, cool. Okay. I think we know what we're doing here. Yeah. Ends our turn. And that's going to be 7 horror. When the Spectre moves in, he will kill us by horror. He'll drive us insane. So, Spectre moves in, enemy phase. He will attack first, hitting me for 2 damage and 2 horror, which is exactly enough to kill me, or to drive me insane. I'm going to spend a resource, and I will cheat death. I think I've used this card just about every single scenario this campaign. If this is the first time watching, cheat death allows me to play it as a fast action. When I would be defeated, I get to disengage from each enemy, heal 2 horror and 2 damage, end my turn. It's not my turn anyway, so it's fine. And if I had like treachery cards in my threat area, they go away too, so it's pretty cool. And since I heal 2 horror, the cost of 1 that the card cost me, I do get it back as a resource. So pretty cool card in Carolyn, and it has come in handy more times than I can count in this campaign. Of course, I'm being funny here. I can count to 5. So yes. Oh, cool. Mind over matter. Yes, this card is so helpful right now. Yes. Doomville's on the agenda, encounter card, and it is Eyes in the Walls. Test 3 willpower. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, Mylan Christopher can at least buffer a little bit of that horror, so I think we'll survive this. If not barely, but still. Okay. We're going to commit the Liquid Courage for 1 willpower icon. That will put us at 4 versus 3. And another Elder Sign. So we heal a horror again and get a resource. That is amazing. This is like the 4th or 5th Elder Sign this game. You don't usually get this many Elder Signs in a game. The Chaos Bag has been very, very generous, which means the next 2 scenarios, it's going to be brutal. And I'm not looking forward to it. So Carolyn goes ahead with the help of Dr. Mylan Christopher and lights the fuse of a dynamite blast. Hurls it into the room next door, blowing up this ghoul and severely damaging the man in the Pallid Mask and the Spectre of Death for 3 points of damage a pop. And things are starting to look a little bit brighter for Carolyn. It's still cutting it close, but we are doing much better than we were just a few minutes ago. And now we'll have to formulate a plan to kill this Spectre, to get our 2 experience points, and also kill this man in the Pallid Mask. We'll go ahead and spend 3 resources and play Pathfinder. So I was wrong. This actually is going to come in handy right now. It definitely is going to help us move around, and we need it. So let's go ahead and move for free using Pathfinder, as there's no enemies in our location. And we'll use action to draw a card. Oh, cool. Okay, moment of respite again. Very helpful. And no foolishness anywhere to be found. Get a resource. And Spectre moves. We'll draw a card and get Carolyn ready. Take the initiative. Alright. Now the Spectre is going to die. I think we have all the pieces that we need to turn the Spectre into dust. And Carolyn will use her machete to machete away the scary beast. Encounter card. Spirit's Torment. Attached to your location. After you leave the location, take a horror, lose an action, or you can use an action to drop a clue off and get rid of this. Okay. Okay. Well, we can't afford to lose it, or we can afford to lose an action, I guess, but if we leave that there, it might affect us later. I think we'll drop the clue off. Use an action so we can get rid of this. We basically have a free move because of Pathfinder. So we will move in to the Spectre's location for free. So we didn't really lose an action. We will now use the machete against this lady, or this Spectre. We're going to spend a resource and play Mind Over Matter. This fast action will allow us to use our intellect instead of combat to attack or evade. So with Mylan Christopher, that makes our combat a 5 versus a 3. And we're going to use this gun to make it a 6 versus 3. And we're going to take the initiative. It's our second action, so we get 2 more, so that's going to be an 8 versus 3. Okay, here we go. And do we have anything else? Let's see. Lunar respite, okay. Okay. Eight versus 3. Let's do this. A skull. Okay, so that's minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 3. That's good enough. You are dead, sir. Victory display. Whew. That is a load off. That guy. Wow. Okay, so we'll use our last action to move in. And now we're on the final stretch, I think. Finally, we can concentrate on getting this guy in the Pallid Mask and finishing this. So we'll draw our card. And we get Haunted. Our basic weakness. We get minus 1 to each of our skills. We can use 2 actions to discard it. Yeah, it sucks, but I think we'll be fine. So we had a Doom to the agenda. We have, okay, 8, I think. Is that right? Grasping Hands. Test 3 agility. Oh, boy. We have no cards that boost our agility. So I think this is just going to be a straight shot. Which means it's going to be a 1 versus 3 because, well, we're haunted. And that's a skull, so we failed miserably. Alright. It was a good run, Dr. Christopher, but Grasping Hands have killed him, and we take 2 damage. Ouch. Let's go ahead and engage this guy. Let's do this. Hack him down. 4... Wait. No. No. Alright, let us not engage him. Alright, we engage him. And he's got 1 health left. No, sorry guys, I'm being very indecisive here, but this is near the end, and it's a tough situation to be in. I think we'll use our actions to gain 2 resources and hope for a good card for this round. Yeah. So we get a resource, draw a card, and it's not a good card. Oh, come on. Lost Soul. We got this weakness last scenario. So if you have more conviction than doubt, which we do, we test willpower of X, where X is our intellect. Our intellect is higher than our willpower, so that sucks. So it's going to be a 4 versus 3. Actually, more like 3 versus 4. If we fail, we take 2 damage. So, all right, just what we needed. I can't believe this. This is like the 5th Elder Sign we've pulled. Sometimes you just get lucky, I guess. Wow. Okay. And we'll put a Doom. Spirit's Torment. Attached to your location. Okay. Not the worst thing, although this location is a victory location, so dropping a clue back on it kind of sucks if I end up having to do that. Because that I could potentially lose an experience point, and that the Doom is moving, so we're going to engage him now. No. Should we get that clue? We'll spend... Oh, yes, I know what we're going to do. We're going to spend the clue. And we'll move in here. Then we're going to spend 3 resources to play Moment of Respite. So we draw a card and we heal 3 heart. And we get our good old friend back. Yay, looks like maybe he didn't die after all. Okay, so that heals us 3 heart and gives us a resource. Ends our turn. And now we draw a card and it is dodge. Okay, that might come in handy. Okay, so we get the pit below attached to the location. It gets +1 shroud. If we stay here, we'll take 3 damage. If we end our turn here, we're going to take 3 damage. So that's not good. We cannot afford to take 3 damage. So it's time to move. And the agenda is, the doom threshold is really moving. We are right there before the end. We're going to use Pathfinder to move us for free. Since we move there, we're going to engage him. We're going to use Field Work since there's a clue on the location. Now we're going to attack him with the machete. 4 versus 4. Spend 2 resources. 4 resources. 4 Kenai, so that's a 6 versus 4. Let's do this. Oh my god, another Elder Sign. Wow. I mean, I feel like this Elder Sign's the only thing in the bag or something. This is quite the anomaly. This does not happen ever. I've never had even like 3 Elder Signs in a single game, much less 5 or 6. Okay, so we kill him. And behind the mask, the stranger drops to one knee, visibly wounded. Your knuckles whiten with anger, and you shout, "We know about Carcosa and Hastur. Now tell us how to stop this madness." The stranger digs his fingers into the cold stone floor, and the catacombs shake. Mark 2 conviction in the campaign log. Nice. Advance to the way out. Alright, so now we are coming close to the end. I think now we just have to find a location. The way out. Bones rattle on the floor, dislodged by the shaking and crumbling of the caverns around Carolyn. The stranger grabs a skull from within the flames in the center of the chamber and flees. Okay, if the gate to hell is in play, discard the location that's furthest from the gate to hell. And each one at that location takes 2 damage. Holy moly, okay. If we make it to the gate to hell, we advance. Luckily, the gate to hell is fairly close. We can get there in 1 turn. Okay, I think we can actually win this. Let us move here. It's right there. Okay, so, damn, I really want that experience point, though. It's right there. Okay, new round. If I move there and then back, I get a +2 to investigate. There, back, then resource and draw a card. Okay. Shadow behind you. Okay. Not what I wanted right now. Okie doke. So this goes away. Furthest location from the gate to hell. Okay. And now we'll move there, and finish, right? There's no victory. No, you know. No. Let's go ahead and go for the clue. Let's go for it. Might as well. If we fail, we'll take a trauma. Big deal. We'll commit Mile and Christopher. Spend 2 resources to boost our stat with Keen Eye, so that gives us 6 versus 4. And we're just going to go for it. Let's do it. -2. Got it. All right. And, oh, wait, actually, we have this. So that's actually a 5 versus 4 because of this guy. So no, wait. 7 versus 4. We had Mile and Christopher, plus we did 2 Keen Eye, that's 3, and we have a 4, that's 6 versus 4. We still got it. Yeah, because our base is 4, -1, that's 3. Mile and Christopher committed brings us back up to 4, and we did two pumps of Keen Eye that puts us at a 6. We're going to use Pathfinder to move us for free, and then we're going to use 1 action to move over here to our destination, the Gate to Hell. And we get to advance the act. I think we win. The catacombs collapse. The catacombs rumble and collapse behind Carolyn. As she makes her escape, she's able to follow the stranger's shadow, tracing his steps to find her way through the labyrinthine passages. She crosses the threshold of the catacombs entrance. A wave of rubble and bone chips follow in her wake. The deafening noise of falling debris crashes behind Carolyn as she turns to find the entrance blocked by a newly formed wall of bone and rock. Just as she's ready to depart, a partially charred skull bearing a strange diagram rolls to a stop at her feet. There's no sign of the stranger anywhere. Whew! That was close. Wow. That was so close. Alright, so we're adding up the victory points. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 victory points, 5 experience points. Very nice. You know, one thing I didn't realize that I could have done earlier that could have saved me a ton of time. The stranger, or the man in the Pallid Mask, I could have engaged him and moved with him to a different location, because he gets +1 health at the location that he was at, and he had taken 3 damage from the Dyno-mite blast. That's his normal health. So had I engaged and then moved, he would have automatically died without me needing to make an attack. I think that's how that would work. If you think that's not how it works, leave a comment below and let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's something that I could have done. Although I didn't do it, it didn't occur to me until now, but that would have been another way to get around beating him without having to drop that clue in and all that stuff. I think it could have saved me quite a few rounds and some aggravation. But it is what it is. And we won. And we won very, very, very close. It was a close match, but it was great. This was a lot of fun. The burned skull holds the key to everything. Carolyn is sure of it. She's tried every method available to her in studying the diagram it bears, but the answer eludes her still. She has brought the skull to experts, occultists, and professors. She's even tried speaking with the skull on more than one occasion. Exasperated, Carolyn places a skull on her night table to try to get some sleep for the first time since escaping the catacombs. As she falls asleep, she cannot shake the sight of the diagram etched in the skull's forehead. She awakens with a spark of inspiration and rushes to the Musée du Louvre, a famous Parisian museum housing tens of thousands of paintings, drawings, and archaeological finds. She spends days exploring the museum, every display, every collection, every single object of art that might have had a clue to the diagram's meaning. Finally, she sees it, a painting depicting a beautiful island town weathering a torrential storm. Waves crash against the stone of the outer wall, the tide threatening to swallow the island whole. Lightning flashes around the tower of the abbey above the village. A whirlwind of black clouds churns in the sky above. The diagram from the burned skull she holds in her hands is recreated perfectly in the stained glass of the abbey. The title of the piece is "The Path is Open."
Well, it's room service, of course.